Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've been diving into the wild world of Palworld like the rest of us, you already know how much your pal squad can make or break your adventure. Some pals are absolute legends in battle. Others are your best buddies when it comes to farming, crafting, or running your base like a pro. And then, well, there are those that are just kinda there, taking up space. With over 100 different pals running around, it can be tough figuring out which ones are actually worth your time. So in today's video, we're breaking down the best and worst pals in the game. We'll look at how they perform in combat, how useful they are at the base, and which ones bring that all-around value you'll want no matter what stage of the game you're in. Whether you're all about taking down bosses, building the ultimate base, or just trying to survive the madness out there, this guide's gonna help you pick the right crew for the job. Let's get into it. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking pals in Palworld. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
The pals in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Hangyu, Hangyu Christ, Chikipi, Fuddler, Nox, Sui, and Flambell. Oh boy, here we go. The part where we talk about the pals you really tried to love, but just couldn't justify keeping in the party. You know the ones. They sit in your base doing menial tasks while your A-tier monsters are out there fighting bosses, building fortresses, and looking cool doing it. These are the D-tier pals, the digital equivalent of a participation trophy. Let's break down the bench warmers. Let's start with Hangyu, your friendly neighborhood neutral type pal. He is the kind of guy who shows up to work every day, never complains, but never really does anything exceptional either. He helps out with some basic labor around the base, but once you get literally any pal with a specialized work suitability, Hangyu becomes background noise. Think of him like a tutorial character who forgot to leave when the real game started. Then we have Hangyu Christ, who is basically Hangyu but with frostbite. It is an ice type, which sounds cooler, pun intended, but unfortunately, it brings very little extra value. If you were hoping this would be an icy upgrade, well, it is more like adding glitter to a paperweight. Sure, it sparkles, but it is still just sitting there. Chikipi, the grass type, is adorable and lays eggs. And that's about it. I mean, if you are running a breakfast empire, maybe she has a purpose. But in terms of battle stats and progression potential, hard pass. Her scaling is poor, and she is outclassed in utility by just about everything that walks, flies, or even crawls in this game. Basically, she is a chicken nugget with dreams. Now let's talk about Fuddler, the ground type digger. He digs holes. That is his thing. Not treasure, not shortcuts, just holes. Combat? Nah. Base work? Minimal. Personality? He looks like he is always halfway through forgetting what he was doing. He's the kind of pal you assign to a job just so he feels included. Nox comes sneaking in next, a dark type pal with stealthy vibes but not much else going for him. It is like having a ninja with no weapons. Sure, he looks mysterious and broody, but when it is time to actually do something meaningful, he kind of just vanishes. Literally and figuratively. If you want looks cool on the loading screen, Nox is your guy. Anything else? Next, please. And lastly, we have Sui and Flambell. Sui is an ice-type baby that evolves into Sweepa, which is actually useful, but until then, it is like dragging a toddler through a dungeon. Flambell, on the other hand, is a fire-type with explosive attacks. Sounds awesome, right? Except she is super fragile and a nightmare to manage. It is like giving dynamite to a cat and hoping for the best. Both have some potential, but only if you are feeling incredibly patient or mildly masochistic. So yeah, these pals might have their fans. And hey, no shame if you like one of them. But in terms of efficiency, usefulness, and sheer survivability, they are the digital equivalent of a do not disturb sign in your roster. Keep them around if you want, just do not expect them to carry you through a boss fight. The pals in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Lamball, Kativa, Bushinoct, Liftmonk, Foxparks, Fuak, Sparkit, Ruby, Mudzarina, Joltog, Gumas, Vixie, Cremis, Dazzy, Celeray, Direhowl, Tokotoko, Mao, Mauchrist, Killamari, Beegard, Cinemoth, and Chillet Ignis. You ever adopt a pal, stare into its eyes, and just know you're going to bench it in 10 minutes? Yeah, welcome to the C-tier club. These pals are like that one friend who shows up to a group project and says, "I brought snacks." Super charming at first, but not exactly pulling their weight. Let's break down the underachievers of Palworld, the ones who tried their best. But well, it wasn't good enough. First off, Lamball. This little fluffball is neutral in both element and effort. Sure, it's cute, and its fluffy shield can take a hit or two, but it's like bringing a pillow to a sword fight. You'll use it in the first hour of the game and then wonder why it's still hanging around. Next up, Kativa. It helps with carry capacity. Barely. Imagine asking a toddler to help move your couch. That's Kativa. After the early game hustle, it just doesn't do enough to earn a permanent spot on your team. Foxparks, Ruby, and Chillet Ignis all bring fire to the table. Literally. They each provide Kindling Level 1, which sounds helpful until you meet better fire pals who can set forests ablaze while juggling. Combat-wise, think more Sparkler than Flamethrower. Mozzarina deserves a little shout-out though. This cow-shaped combo of water and ice elements isn't terrible around the base. It's got a calming aura that helps your squad stay sane in chaos. But let's be real, if you're relying on Mozzarina to save the day, you've already lost the fight. Then there's Vixie, who might trick you into thinking it's clever. It distracts enemies and finds random items, which sounds handy, until you're surrounded and Vixie's off chasing butterflies. It's less of a combat pal and more like a loot goblin with ADHD. A quick round of honorable mentions, or dishonorable depending on how you look at it. Gumas can trap enemies but is mostly just moss with dreams. Kilimari tries to slap things with tentacles, adorable but ineffective. And Tokotoko, it explodes when defeated. Risky, chaotic, and honestly, kind of a liability. Look, every pal has something going for it, even if it's just emotional support or being hilarious to watch. But in a world where survival matters and combat gets real fast, these C-tier pals just don't cut it. Keep them in your heart or your storage box. Probably the storage box. The pals in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Pyron, Foxicle, Univolt, Pyron Noct, Chile, Raindrix, Sweepa, Grintail, Wixen, Ragnahawk, Beacon, Lavender, Tombat, Digtoise, Moraith, Sibilix, Serpent, Elfidrin, Kelpsy, Ignis, Kelpsy, Lunaris, Dumude, Arsox, Rushor, Daydream, Depresso, T-Fent, Hookrates, Fenglope Lux, Jolthog, Christ, Gobfin, Penking, Pengullet, Felbat, Tansy, and Incinerum Noct. Alright, let's talk about the pals that won't carry you to victory on a golden throne, but they will hold your hand through some solid mid-game chaos. First up, let's fire things up with Piran, a fire-type pal that's kind of like your dependable friend who always brings hot sauce to the party. It doesn't set the world on fire, pun fully intended, but it gets the job done with decent attack stats and some spicy fire moves. Now, if you like your fire with a side of darkness, Pyron Noct enters the scene. This fire and dark type combo pal is like a moody version of Pyron, offering a more versatile moveset and some cool goth energy. If you're into chilly crowd control, we've got an entire Ice Age reboot in this tier. Foxicle, Chillet, Raindrix, Sweepa, and Sibilix. It's like Elsa cloned herself 5 times and sent them into battle. Foxicle is great for slowing down enemies, which is basically the polite way of saying sit down. Sweepa handles group fights with those area of effect attacks, while Sibilix is the responsible one of the bunch, shielding your team and playing defense. Raindrix and Chile, solid early game pals that won't let you down. Electric type fans, don't worry, I didn't forget about you. Univolt brings paralyzing potential to the team, which is basically zapping enemies until they regret their life choices. Then there's Beacon, who not only fries enemies with electric attacks, but also lights up dark areas, like a walking flashlight with anger issues. And don't sleep on Jolthog Christ and Fenglope Lux. Jolthog Christ hits hard with crystal-infused electricity, especially against armored targets. Fenglope Lux, it's decent in combat but shines more when helping around your base, hauling materials like an overachieving intern. Now, Wixen and Ragnahawk, these two fire-type pals bring flair and feathers. Wixen specializes in ranged elemental attacks. Basically, it's like throwing fireballs from downtown. Ragnahawk is a flying fire type, perfect for when you want to set things on fire from above. Bonus points if you scream airstrike every time it attacks. Let's get weird with the dark types. Tombat is your sneaky friend who somehow always steals the last slice of pizza and never gets caught. Great at evading and debuffing enemies. Moraith curses foes to lower their defenses, which is a nice way of saying good luck surviving, pal. Daydream, Felbat, Depresso, and Hookrates round out this edgy squad. Daydream can make enemies fall asleep. Nap time mid-battle, yes please. Felbat is evasive. Depresso, well, it radiates sadness and lowers attack power. Literally weaponized gloom. And Hookrates attacks with wisdom. Imagine your high school philosophy teacher went rogue. Water-type lovers, here's your squad. Serpent swims circles around enemies and excels in aquatic environments. Gobfin, Kelpsy, T-Fant, Pengullet, and Penking all bring different flavors of splashy goodness. T-Fant creates healing rain, Kelpsy soothes teammates, and Pengullet, it literally slides into enemies. slapstick combat at its finest. Penking has big boss energy. It boosts your team's morale and defenses, like a very stern lifeguard. Gobfin is pretty balanced, while Kelpsy Ignis, a water and fire hybrid, is a spicy swimmer with a diverse toolkit. Ground types deserve some love too. Dumud is basically a walking mud fortress, perfect for tanking hits. Rushor charges like it's in a demolition derby, smashing through enemies. Digtoise, part tortoise, part digging machine, is your go-to for uncovering hidden paths and loot. These guys may not be glamorous, but they're the foundation of a solid squad. Grintail and Tansy represent the grass-type community here. Grintail is like your team's healer with leafy vibes, keeping everyone alive and well. Tansy boosts agility with its rhythm-based movement. Think of it as your team's hype dancer, if your hype dancer could photosynthesize and slap enemies with vines. And then there's Lavender. No element, no flashy attacks, but a big ol' heart. This neutral-type pal heals your team and lowers their stress. Basically a therapy pal. You need one. Don't argue, you're stressed. You know you are. Finally, we've got the wild cards. Elphidron, a dragon type with a majestic aura that boosts morale. Basically a flying dragon cheerleader. And Incineram Noct, a fire and dark type beast that's all offense. This one doesn't do subtle. It just burns and breaks things until there's nothing left. The pals in this tier are in order from top left to bottom right: Anubis, Grisbolt, Suzaku, Suzaku Aqua, Elphidron Aqua, Relaxorus, Relaxorus Lux, Mamarest, Mamarest Christ, Broncheri Aqua, Phalaris, Blazamut, Cryolinx, Wumpo Botan, Valet, Lilian, Lilian Noct, Astagon, Verdash, Blaze Howl Noct, King Paka Christ, Warsect, Warsect Terra, Quivern Botan, Helzapher Lux, Patalia Menasting, Menasting Terra, Orsurk, Selene, Noclim, Xenogard, Xenolord, Sylvegus, Phalaris Aqua, and Bastagor. Oh, you know things are about to get real when Anubis shows up swinging. This ground-type melee legend isn't just stylish with that Egyptian Guardian vibe, he's an absolute menace in close combat. Thanks to his partner's skill, Guardian of the Desert, he's not just punching enemies, he's obliterating them. Seriously, if you're looking for a reliable warrior that doesn't shy away from the front lines, Anubis deserves your respect. He may not hit S-tier levels of domination, but he's definitely the guy you call when you need someone deleted from existence. Now, let's talk about Grisbolt. Imagine if a bear learned how to use a minigun and generate electricity on command. That's Grisbolt in a nutshell. As an electric-type pal, he's your go-to for both defending your base and going full Rambo in a fight. He's the kind of pal who looks like he grills burgers with lightning just for fun. Give him a minigun and just sit back. It's basically a fireworks show of destruction. Up next, we're taking to the skies with Suzaku, the majestic fire-type flying mount. This beauty doesn't just fly, it blazes. While mounted, Suzaku buffs your fire attacks, turning you into a literal firestorm on wings. And for all you water strategy fans out there, meet Suzaku Aqua, the cooler sibling. Same mobility, same elegance, but now you're surfing the sky with water-based bonuses. It's like riding a flying tsunami, stylish and deadly. Let's not ignore the Relaxorus duo, Relaxorus and Relaxorus Lux. These two are the definition of chunky and funky. The original Relaxorus combines dragon and water elements, making it a solid all-rounder with decent offense and tankiness. But then comes Relaxorus Lux, who decided to plug himself into a power socket and became part electric. Now he's frying enemies while still tanking like a champ. We stan an electric dragon dino. If you're in the mood for something massive, meet Mamarest. This grass-type unit is less of a pal and more of a walking fortress with leaves. With huge health and powerful area control moves, Mamarest is built to take a beating and keep on swinging. Prefer a cooler version? Mamarest Christ swaps the grass for ice, keeping the same brute strength but with the ability to freeze enemies solid. Absolute unit either way. Then there's Blazamut, the fire-type brute who shows up, drops some ridiculous area of effect fire attacks, and casually strolls away while everything burns. You don't bring Blazamut to a polite duel, you bring him to send a message. Same with Phalaris, a flying mount that basically says, what if a phoenix had jets strapped to its wings? It's fast, powerful, and literally rains fire from the sky. Let's cool it down with Cryolinx. This ice-type pal is all about defense and crowd control. He doesn't just freeze enemies, he stops time for them. That kind of lockdown is perfect when you need to take a breather or control the battlefield. Pair him with Wumpo Botan, a hybrid of grass and ice, who not only helps in battle but is also your base's MVP, thanks to top-tier handiwork skills. Combat support and domestic duties? We love a multitasking king. Astagon deserves a spotlight too. Dragon and Dark type, this absolute monster hits like a truck and can mine like one too. He's not just a fighter, he's your resource guy. Think of him as the muscle and the workforce. Similarly, Menacing and its ground-type variant Menacing Terra are dual-purpose monsters, ready to smash enemies and smash rocks for materials. You bring these guys along when you want to conquer and collect. Let's not forget the healers and speedsters. Lylene, Noct, Valet, Petalia, these grass and sometimes dark-type pals are the backbone of longer fights. They keep your team standing and chip away at enemies with decent attacks. Then you've got speedsters like Verdash and Orsurk. Verdash makes you zoom across the map while slicing up foes with grass-type attacks. Orsurk? Think high-speed chases with electric claws. He's dragon and electric, and yes, he absolutely bites first and asks questions never. And finally, yes, we made it. There's Xenoguard and Xenolord. These two dragon-type titans bring raw power to your squad. Xenolord in particular, with that extra dark typing, is just a walking final boss. And if you need even more elemental chaos, throw in Blazehowl Noct, Fire and Dark, Bastigor, also Fire and Dark, or Helzifer Lux, Electric and Dark. These pals are for players who like their enemies extra crispy and their moves super flashy. The pals in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Jetragon, Frostallion, Necromus, Palladius, Belenoir Libero, Jormuntide Ignis, Shadowbeak, and Frostallion Noct. Hold on to your mounts, folks, because we're about to fly straight into the heavy hitter zone. Let's kick things off with Jetragon, the dragon-type beast that makes all other flying mounts feel like they're crawling. This pal is not just fast, it's blisteringly fast. With area of effect attacks like Fireball and Beam Comet, it is basically an airborne artillery strike with wings. Whether you're zipping across the map or wiping out a mob in seconds, Jetragon does not disappoint. It's like strapping a rocket launcher to a jet and calling it your buddy. Next up is the Icy Overlord, Frostallion. This Ice-type pal does more than just look cool. It literally turns your basic attacks into frosty nukes. And the best part? It boosts your entire damage output with ice abilities. If you're someone who likes to freeze enemies in their tracks and then shatter them into regret, Frostallion will become your new best friend. And now for something a little darker. Necromus, the Dark-type Juggernaut. Think of this guy as the goth cousin who hits the gym twice a day. He deals massive damage and can take hits like a champ. Whether you're up against a crowd of enemies or a massive boss with rage issues, Necromus handles business with brutal efficiency. No fluff, just raw, shadowy muscle. Let's not forget Palladius, who brings something very special to the table. A triple jump. Yes, triple. Jump. That alone is enough to earn a spot in the S-tier Hall of Fame. But there's more. Palladius deals reliable neutral and ice damage, making it a versatile pick for both combat and exploration. It's like having a ninja and a glacier in one body. Speaking of devastating potential, allow me to introduce Belenoir Libero, the Dark-type menace with an attack stat that screams, "I woke up and chose violence." Clocking in at 150 attack power and armed with powerful moves like Nightmare Bloom, this pal is all about stylish destruction. Belenoir Libero does not just win fights, it makes them look like choreographed disasters. Now, if your dream is to barbecue enemies in dramatic fashion, Jormuntide Ignis has your name written all over it. This fire and dragon type hybrid is as flashy as it is deadly. Its moveset is an ongoing fireworks show, and every hit feels like it should be followed by applause. Perfect for those who believe every battle should have flair. Then there's Shadowbeak, another dark type but with a serious twist. This pal is built around its special partner skill, which, when paired with the right setup, turns it into a silent assassin of epic proportions. It's sleek, it's fast, and it delivers darkness with elegance. Basically, it is the James Bond of Palworld, but more feathers and less tuxedo. And finally, meet Frostallion Noct, a fusion of ice and dark damage wrapped in majestic menace. It takes the frost-blasting potential of the original Frostallion and adds a shadowy edge that makes it even more terrifying. It is like someone gave your favorite ice mage a curse and a bad attitude, and somehow it works beautifully. Which one of these pals is your go-to wrecking ball? The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.